Hello folks, this is Josh with Gaslight Nation USA. Just doing a review of the Xendrius video on the alien deception. Now some of the views in here I agree with, some I don't.
I don't care how free you think you are and what you can do. You do something this government doesn't want. They'll plant dope on you. They'll find something in your hotel room. They will do something and you'll be taken off. Or like usually, if you're a researcher, you'll just disappear and no one will know where you are and nobody wants to talk about it. I'm saying we better wake up and find out we're in trouble.
John Todd is known as a person that worked in the music industry, known for witchcraft, as well as Satan and Luciferianism. Definitely got a lot of good insight into the UFO agenda.
Her little pastime was calling up, supposedly filling the sky with UFOs and watching everybody's excitement.
The UFOs
and some of the most
Washington.
outstanding sightings were in the early 70s in Ohio. And she used to laugh about it because she'd be standing in a circle out in the field somewhere calling up demons. And that's all they were angels of light playing games in the sky. Remember, a demon, get the little spooky picture. There are a fallen angel, an unclean spirit. They can assume any form or go into anything. But they can assume forms including spacemen or solid objects like flying saucers or so on. That's why when they appear on the radar scope and a jet gets up there, they vanish right in front of the palisade because they're nothing but a spirit.
This looks like the UFOs over Mexico. Yeah, John Todd abruptly just disappeared one day. Nobody's heard from him since. Fritz Springmeier was set up and ended up serving several years in prison and actually was brutalized in prison. Prefer not to say more on that, but it's pretty bad. He endured a lot, and I feel for the guy because I think he's a true good man and a Christian.
And then, of course, there are plans to create a mock alien invasion. I have talked briefly on the radio for Prophecy Club about the flying saucers. Somebody very high up in the New World Order who was brought to Christ by a close friend of mine has talked about piloting the flying saucers. Yes, the United States government has flying saucers. The bottom line is I have concluded that there are no good aliens. The aliens are demons, and we've got a mixture going on of demons and flesh and blood, and we've also got other genetic experiments. I'm just giving you a tiny sampling of how sophisticated this programming really is. Satan has really outdone himself. And they have a program for infiltrating the churches. And anyone who is a Christian minister is going to be singled out and targeted. Anyone who is a legitimate
The Catholic Church
Christian
definitely
minister
has its
is
tentacles
going to be
into all these
singled
different
out and
areas.
targeted.
Kent Hovind,
Basically, the consensus of opinion of these guys is
known
there are
for
two kinds
wiping
of
the
UFOs.
floor with
There are
professors
top
on
secret government
evolution
craft,
theory, and
and
just
there are
absolutely
satanic
incredible.
manifestations, demonic, okay?
Love his early videos. He ended up spending, I think, 7 years in prison for tax evasion. Bill Cooper, Patriot, definitely, I think a good guy on the right track. Just like everybody else, you get into the subject and it's just so much information overload.
Now, I have since come to believe that the extraterrestrial portion of all of this is nonsense, but that the technology is real. I believe that many of us were shown these documents over the years so that later we would talk about it. I mean, how can you keep the existence of extraterrestrials, if they were real, a secret? And how could anyone keep quiet knowing that they had seen documentation, official government documents labeled top secret, that expressed that these
Stephen
extraterrestrials were real?
This
and
guy,
had
he's
visited
either a
this
shill,
Earth. I wanted to know just how
just
true
stupid,
all of this
or
was, and I
he's
began
in on the plot.
a program
I
of
don't
research
understand
to
sometimes
find out
what's
if
going on with him. It's
extraterrestrials
clearly
were
a
real.
deception, and either he's
What
part
I
of it,
discovered
or
was
he's an
amazing.
unwitting
What I
accomplice.
discovered, ladies and gentlemen, is that there has been a plan in existence since about 1917, and probably before that, to create an artificial extraterrestrial threat to this Earth in order to create a one-world totalitarian socialist government. Experiments have been proposed to test the credibility of an out-of-our-world invasion threat. And it continues on another page. Nevertheless, an effective political substitute for war would require alternate enemies, some of which might seem equally far-fetched in the context of the current war system. It may be, for instance, that gross pollution of the environment can eventually replace the possibility of mass destruction by nuclear weapons as the principal substitute for war. Are you beginning to get the message, folks?
I know for a fact that the plan is to make all of us feel totally helpless, that what's happening is beyond our realm to affect because we've been taken over by aliens, that our Independence Day is dawning. So beware of that. Understand that those criminals have been keeping information and technology from us under their blanket of national security. They are 25 years ahead of us at least, technologically. Can you imagine what they've got now?
For a good video on Kathy O'Brien, you should look up Ed Opperman. He did a really good video with her, with Kathy O'Brien and her husband, which we believe is her handler, and never stopped being her handler.
The truth is out there. The truth is out there. I'm going to paraphrase. The truth is in here.
We are here today to disclose
And more
the truth
useful
about
idiots.
a subject that has been
It's what the
ridiculed and questioned,
communists call
denied
people who do their
for
bidding
at least
unwittingly.
50 years. The men and women who are on this stage and the some 350 additional military intelligence witnesses to the so-called UFO matter and extraterrestrial intelligence can prove and will prove that we are not alone.
Well, Demon 1 and Demon 2. One is obviously MK Ultra mind controlled, and the other one is clearly a demon. George Bush Sr. If you watch his eyes and watch his mouth kind of droop, there's a guy named Leo Zagami that claims that he's inhabited by a demon, a very well-known demon from the Bible. I believe it's Molech or one of those, but yeah, not good people, right?